Hello and welcome to the Center for Military Modernization. I'm Kris Osborn. Glad you're here. Significant jazzy topic. We're talking about the sixth generation fighter. About all we know about the largely secret aircraft is it's airborne. Will likely fire lasers and have AI-enabled sensors, a new generation of stealth, and perhaps of greatest significance to manned-unmanned teaming and control what the Air Force calls a family of systems. It's more of an F-22 replacement than an F-35 per se, because the F-35 will live for decades to come. We had a chance to talk to a very prestigious senior weapons developer at the Air Force Research Laboratory at the AFA Symposium, Mr. Kris Ristich. He is the Director of Integrated Capabilities for AFRL. We asked him about this jazzy and really critical. It's ahead of schedule. It's already airborne, sixth generation, next generation air dominance.
Well, we certainly respect there are some programs you hear nothing about for obvious reasons. What can we say about NGAD? I mean, that's already in the air, and there's very little said about where it might be or what kinds of informed cutting-edge tech might be part of that. Is there anything about that you're looking at or might see?
I would simply say this. I think that NGAD, since its original inception, was all about family of systems. Yeah. And so I think the real question is how can we tie in some of these other capabilities that we've been talking about, unmanned systems, collaborative partners, and so forth.
Well, that's interesting. Well, just looking at the mission scope, it seemed to me, and forgive me, tell me if I'm wrong, if this was speculation, but it seems to me like the 6th Gen is more of an F-22 replacement than an F-35 because of the modernization plans for F-35. So many software drops and upcoming upgrades, you don't need to change the configuration to make something like the F-35 a much better plane.
Right. No, I believe that is largely correct, yes.
What are some of the ways you see 5th and 6th generation operating in conjunction with drones to either penetrate enemy air defenses, test them, or possibly with human in the loop, drop a weapon?
Yeah. I think the key is you're describing a system of systems future, and how do we leverage the strengths and attributes of each of those different systems in terms of the sensing payloads that they carry, the weapons they carry, the low observability that they have as an attribute, and so forth. And it is that kind of system of systems approach that is being explored and developed, frankly, to support the operational imperatives.
And one of the things I remember and think about often is the former acquisition executive, Mr. Roper, said software may decide who wins the next war. Sure enough, I remember writing on 120D and AIM-9X that software upgrades can massively expand their aperture, their guidance technology, their overall capability. Right. What is some of your thinking about how much that will impact the maturation of some of these promising technologies?
Yeah, I certainly agree with Dr. Roper's assessment. One of the key things from our point of view in the laboratory is how do we enable that to be the case? And in most cases, it's establishing open system architectures that can support those into the future. So we have weapons open system architectures, we have sensor open system architectures, we have OMS as a system itself. And so applying those is going to allow us to decouple the flight software from the autonomy into the future. Autonomy and other mission systems.
One of the reasons 6th generation aircraft is so far along is because the Pentagon and the Air Force have pioneered a new way of acquisition development called digital engineering, where you can essentially use computer simulations to replicate key performance parameters of weapons and essentially make assessments and design configurations prior to so-called bending metal. This aircraft was thought to be not till many, many years ago, and now it's already airborne. Not much to say, but the anticipation is growing as this could very well bring new tactical advantages and help the U.S. stay in front of near-peer competitors when it comes to stealth. Kris Osborn, Warrior Maven, Center for Military Modernization.